No, right now.
And I'm really agitated because I still haven't got the echo out of it. I will while we're gone. But I'm not gonna delay any longer. Good. Damn. All right. Good. I might have to lift my camera up, but anyway, we live. We live. We live. David Dimitri live in color. This is the OWU Original World Union live stream focused on the consciousness, the faith of true right, truth, and rights. You know I have my names for everything. Faith of true right, truth, and rights. It's me, Dawu Osaru, Ma'a, the Pet Bay, disguised as mild-mannered citizen David Dimitri. We're live in color. We're on David Dimitri live in color on YouTube.com, and we're on Instagram.com live streaming, and we are on Facebook at David Dimitri Johnson live streaming. And today we have vibrated in with the goddess, not just queen, the goddess, because this consciousness is extremely esoteric. It's it's mind bending sometimes because talking with her, vibing, it's like, how does she get there before I say something? So yeah, we are official, and it is going down. Let me, everybody that is somebody, know that this is the spirit of gratitude. The spirit of gratitude. That's what we're doing today, right now. Spirit of gratitude, attitude of gratitude. So the consciousness to energy to what? That's the subject. The hierarchy of vibration of existence. That's what we on about right now. The hierarchy, because we're living in a hierarchy of energy. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're vibrating on. Because that's what we have to do. That's what we have to bring to you. Gratitude that any of you are here. We are informing everyone right now that we are live. So, Eyomide, Alafia Eyomide, Ekinlo Soye, Alafia Opo Ire, gratitude, brother, and gratitude to all the sisters for vibing in on this live stream. Now. Gratitude for you vibing in on this live stream now. We give thanks. We're over here in the United States of America, but to me, it's like we're all in one world, one planet. And that's what's really going on, and that's the whole point of us doing this talk. We're going to focus on the hierarchy that we live in of existence. Where did it start from? Where did it come to? Why are we there? How does it affect our lives? Because we live in human lives, which is spatio-temporal zone limited, right? So what do we desire? We desire to know what the trends are. You should. That don't mean you're just materialistic. You need to know what's going on with people, right? Et cetera, et cetera. But you also need to know what is money, what is finances, what is prosperity. Finances and prosperity is now. You go back 1,000 years ago, there was no finance. There was prosperity. But what was prosperity? You see what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the level we're on. So, Sister Delphi, waiting for you to manifest.
Well, I was just telling David Dimitri that I had a wonderful dream, vivid. Oh my God, I haven't had a vivid dream like that, like forever. It was so vivid. I dreamt that I was dancing with the ancestors in my room. It wasn't necessarily good, it wasn't necessarily bad. Can explain it. There was a little bit of turmoil in the room. Then all of a sudden, I saw myself fly and seeing floods because I'm hearing and there's floods, and I was kind of scared, but I got this feeling like, don't worry. I saw a bunch of mermaids coming out of the water. They were willing to come out the water to greet me, to talk to me if they
Mm.
have to. I don't know how to swim. It was kind of
Yeah.
like, you don't know how to swim, that's all right. We'll come to you. You're the
Mm. Yeah.
okay. And they were just kind of telling me, like, don't be afraid of the water. Don't be afraid of the water. Don't be afraid of the floods.
Mm.
And my download as of lately is like dream, dream, dream I'm in, awaken from this dream I'm in. So even this awakened moment is a dream.
Yeah.
And then the dream was so vivid, I started understanding when I woke up, oh, this is a dream too.
Mm.
But it's like we've been programmed
Yeah.
that, oh, dreams are insignificant to begin with. Oh, it's just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So this reality is a dream. You know how some people have a dream journal?
Yeah. Me.
This I have a awakened dream journal. So here in your physical realm, I've been taught you have to write down what you see around you. People who come in your life, what does that mean? Whether they do good or bad in your life, what does that mean? Animals, different animals that come in your life. Anything, everything means something. And
Mm-hmm.
and you can manifest from what was true to you in this awakened dream time. So it gets dreams that is, what we call a dream to be insignificant. But it goes back to what you were saying earlier about consciousness is the all. It goes infinite. Understand yourself to be in awareness
Mm.
and not this physical body. You exist multidimensionally and in everywhere in different time, different what we're calling time,
Yeah.
in different space realms. You know, I understand this to be so much of a realm. The debate about whether the world is flat or circle doesn't even matter. It's a realm. We have to understand it's a realm.
Right.
It's an energetic, I'm going to say, energetic force field of existence that we all will agree to dream in and be part of each other's lives. That's why some people could see disasters and others don't see disasters, and it could be like but a
Mm.
couple of miles away. So it all depends on your dream time and what you're allowing to happen. You have more control in this physical dream time than we know. We believe, oh no, it's outside, it's this. Well, it's inside of you. It's neat.
I know this. Well, I want to say before I respond to that, thank you. And there's an echo. I presume it's on my fault, on my end, because we had some audio issues. I barely started using this specific program, but trying to get rid of that echo on your end. Uh, so, if everyone is understanding what she was saying and the depths of what she was saying, we have to appreciate the importance of dreams. We are talking about the ancient teachings, and it's important to know that it's ancient teachings. It's nothing new. Uh, and it's about consciousness being the source, being the original, and energy So it goes from consciousness to energy, then into molecules and physical forms. Let's say it like that.
It
And this is
is. Mhm.
actually one of the relations when you see the ancient Kemet or ancient Egyptian, you call it Kemet, Hermetic teachings, when they taught of the Amen. That's the ultimate, that's all the consciousness. That's like, what do you call that field where everything's, all the memories of all existence? What's that called?
Quantum.
No, I
Yeah.
forgot. I forgot. I'll
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, say that. You almost said it.
The Akashic
Yeah, that's
records.
it. The Akashic records. That's the Amen. And so then you come down to, you have the Amen, and then you get into the physical. That's where you come into the Ra, the Ray, the sun, the physical spatio-temporal zone, where
Yeah.
coming from our consciousness, and then you have Newt before you get to Ra. So before you get to Newt, so you have the Amen, and then you have Ha, which is like the manifestation of that consciousness coming into energy. And then you have the Newt, which is it coming into spatio-temporal vibrational existence. Now there's beings on those different levels. So to say, when I say beings, I mean their consciousness can perceive of physical beings. I'm not saying they're in the physical, but they can see into their world and into physical worlds that we live in. And so when you want to address something like dreams, we got to realize we're multifaceted consciousness. We're not just multifaceted beings. So it's very important for us to realize the foundation. I always talk about the foundation. If you notice, when I it looked like your screen cut off. Let me see. Sister Delphi, your video cut off. So anyway, I think she's gonna come back on it, but probably just her video camera. But so as I was saying, okay, it looks like she's coming back on. Yeah, there she goes. So as I was saying, like, we have to understand the foundations of these things. We can get into all this other knowledge and we can know a lot of stuff, but what's happening with a lot of people is the very, very simple beginning of our soul consciousness. Remember, I keep teaching about soul consciousness and ego consciousness. The ego is a break off, relating with spatio-temporal and relating with emotions. So the ego is like focused. It's a necessity part of ourselves to exist in this way that we exist as so-called human beings. It is part of being in a polarizable reality, a spatio-temporal reality. The ego is. But we are souls. We don't have a soul. We are souls. We are that.
Yes.
And that's very important to realize. So what is soul? Soul is, you have the Ka in ancient Kemet, the Ka and the Ba. That's like the soul and the spirit. But then we have ego, which is in this physical, all those different consciousness. And so I think when you have dreams, you were just speaking of dreams, you have like let's go to the psychological teachings in, university teachings, school teachings. You have the ego and the id coming from, they were just trying to rationalize what we already knew and what our ancestors already talked about, but to relate with their own people, the European. So like we have our Ka So you have Amen, the Amen, then you have Ha, then you have Ka. This is the literal teachings, the Hermetic teachings. In the beginning of everything is the Amen. That's where all the consciousness is, and then it splits, it vibrates out into, just to relate with y'all, this isn't what it does, but this is, and so it becomes the Ha, which is where all them forces are starting. And when I say forces, I don't mean Netter, I don't mean in total, I don't mean Orisha. I'm not even saying that this earth exists yet. I'm saying the Amen, the Amun, the Ama.
For existence.
Yeah, the original, before anything's physical, before anything's questionable.
That's where we're from, a lot of us.
Yeah, and so like that's what they say. God is that's us. We are God and Goddess, but there's beyond that. That's why in a movie they said, "May the force be with you," because it was more important that good fortune be with you, that them energies be for your benefit, because we're in this spatio-temporal zone, which is terraformed by our pretty much enemies. And so they turned us from living in nature, resonating in benevolence with nature, into having to adapt like we're living in a video game, like we're some character that has to keep adapting and adapting and going through all these psychological, not physical, but going through all these psychological hoops and obstacles. But the original, what we need to realize is that the Amen to the Ha, then to the Ka, which is the souls that we are, that origin of soul. So we say we're going to go back to the Odum. In Ifa, that means, in Yoruba, that means heaven. We're going back to the Egbe, the family of the Odum, the family of heaven. The Zulus call it the Zulus, the family. And then you have the Akan who call it the Asamando, the Akanfo Asamando, the family of the heavens. You see, and what is that heavens? Is it the ancestral jurisdiction? Is it or is it going back to the Ka, where all it's soul, there's no ego? What do you think?
Well, you said a lot. I'm just gonna say my downloads, how I'm understanding it. As far as the ego, for a lot of us, it's shedding. So this belief of being physical is even more of an illusion today. We're not as physical as we believe we are. We never really were, but like there's layers and layers of us. We're being shedded. That's why dream time can be more vivid now. Some people don't even remember their dreams. That's because there was a certain level of spells on humanity, from a lot of things. We're not going to get into it. From a lot of things. But what you said as far as like before creation, I think you were saying it was before Ra. I don't even work with the energy that is Ra anymore. So a lot of us, we come from like infinity before the nothingness, because there's the nothingness and then there's existence. So there's a even bigger gap between the nothingness and existence. Some of us come before the nothingness even. So when I say that, that's hard to explain, because we understand ourselves to be physical. That's when you have to start understanding yourself to be non-physical. That's where meditation comes in. Understand yourself to be non-physical. That's when you can understand yourself to do things like, how they say walk on water, all that. Every human being that takes this level of time today to understand themselves not to be physical will understand water is simply energy, and so are you. So you can do a lot of magic, so I'm working on some magic. We all are, all of us.
Right. It's needed.
Yeah, we need some magic here. That's always the thing. Like, oh, there's no magic in this realm. This realm. There's so many different realms that we have created. We have created very powerful magical realms,
Mm.
and we love coming to this realm. For eons, we come to play the game of the illusion of physical work, physical labor. None of that's done. It's not. This is not a time for this realm to be a school anymore. It's time for us to learn to know our mysticism and understand that this realm, okay, is magic. Like other realms, lots of realms that are way more magical. And what was happening, they were basically using humanity's magic against us because we don't know we're magical. So if you don't know you're magical, you go into any type of temple, even a temple, a church, or this, they use your magic because you're fueling the physical realm. You're fueling the realm and not understanding you are the magic. So meditation, your own incantations, your own spells, your own words bring forth a different level of power in your realm. And to the biggest power now is going into the ethers, your dream time, your meditation time, understanding how to astral project yourself, how to go into different realms. There's different versions of you in this same timeline because you're not just one body. Lastly, are you the body? So there's different versions of you that exist in this timeline, what we're calling time, and infinite. It's just infinite. So it's time to explore. It's time to know ourselves more than just today, what we're calling today, the now. So I don't know if that's
Explore, yeah. That's
yeah.
I kind of feel like when we dream, we're exploring because we're ka or the subconscious, which is the dominant conscious. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
I feel like when we're in this realm, we're remembering, not when we're dreaming. When we're in the waking world, we're remembering. Like we'll meet people, like how me and you, we just clicked about a year and a half ago. A lot of people don't know that we already had been building, but we weren't going live like we are now. Remember when I spoke about how I don't believe we're meeting people, we're remembering each other, and that it's like it's, I feel like it's important to really put it in that type of perspective. Like, of course, with computers, like I'm trying to get the echo out of your voice over here on the equipment, right? That stuff you're learning, that's just technical stuff. But this knowledge, this ancient knowledge, which seems so irrelevant because it don't pay the bills and this, it's actually part of wisdom. Because if we have a lack of love of knowledge, which was the one of the pillars of ancient Kemet, of its teachings of the mental nature of even those that preceded that civilization. It's like, well, how can you criticize knowledge, minimize its importance? So in this waking world, I feel like we're remembering. Our whole life is a memory, and a lot of people criticize specifically people that have been oppressed or in poor, specifically what's known as black people, the melanoids. And it's not just racist; it's even some of our own people criticizing and say we do everything backwards and this and this. I don't think they realize our whole life is in reversal, and I don't think that's really talked about or recognized. And there's no research looked into that. There's no body of knowledge like my book Outlining to Empowered. I'll pick it up a little later. Like I talk about this and that. Like my life was in reverse, literally everything. Like I didn't know good. I only had choices of bad. I didn't know empathy and compassion. I knew ruthlessness, like suffering. I didn't know joy. I didn't know love. I knew hate. I didn't know honesty. I knew deceit. It was reversed, but everyone around me was like that. But we don't want to admit that's how bad it was or how bad it could be. And then we're getting into life, and it seems like you're just trying to come out of poverty. That's not what you're doing. The real poverty is within. It's like, I know how to hate myself, and I'm trying to figure out what it is about them people that's so much better than me. I just know I don't feel good enough around them, and I don't feel good enough for them. I don't feel good enough for that position or to go to school. Like, I didn't even know I was good enough to be on a university's campus. Did you know that the first time I was on a university's campus, I couldn't believe it. I was seeing black people. I thought that we couldn't wasn't good enough for that because of the life that I was given. I'm not saying everybody had a life like me. It wasn't that bad for them.
No,
But
I understand that because I think when it comes to people of color, they have put this thing of, like I was saying, an inferiority complex on us that we feel that everything we do is like wrong. And then, you have the outside illusion, which is the media. Social media has put a stigma on a group of people, and the people don't know better. I don't want to say all black people, but a great majority of people, you can see how they act based on a certain level of inferiority complex, especially out in California, because I was out in California, and they do the black people out in Cali bad.
yeah, because it's sneak. It's
Yes,
sneak.
it's
And then
sugar coated racism in California.
it's real
It's
deceptive, and a lot of the black people don't realize they don't really have they don't have no
support.
time to act like it's not happening. We need to be fighting against it. Like instead, we turn on each other in little stupid sly ways.
What I said like the other day when I went to Berkeley, um, I saw the magic because for me it's always a little bit of mysticism. I felt fairy magic. Fairy magic is prosperity magic, earth magic. It's beautiful magic. But then when I went into Oakland, I felt nothing. It was stagnant energy. So there's magic against Oakland. And I think with black people, we don't believe in magic. We don't like magic. But then we
What she
demonize
talking
people
about? She's
who are
crazy.
black.
Okay, she crazy.
What happened? I'm sorry.
Yeah, some of us might respond like, she's crazy. What is she talking about? Oh, she tripping.
Exactly. But we need to get into our magic because even in the schools, there's magic. My kids go into high school, and there's occultist kids in high school that do magic. They understand the school is a realm. The school is a realm, and they do magic. And they try to hit my kid up, and I felt it because I'm a mystic. I carry my children. I protect my children. So I'm like, hey, what's with you guys? Don't mess with my kids. So they didn't know, like, oh my God, their mom's mystic. So they're wondering, because, my kids are powerful too. They're wondering why they don't do this and this. I'm like, don't worry about what my kids do. And so I'm like, where are your parents? So, like, this is all in the ethers because there's people who understand exactly what I'm saying versus us, oh, this is not true. There's oh, it's not true. And then there's those that, like, of course, that's what we do. We know ourselves to be consciousness. We work in a dream time.
Right.
That's how we
Yeah.
roll.
Mm-hmm.
So those that know this is how we roll, those are the ones I'm always dealing with in the ethers. Like, don't mess with my kids. I'm telling their parents this. Don't mess with my kids, so I don't gotta fuck with your kids because I don't play with children. But I'm a great mother, so I've come in past lifetimes as a Hebrew prophet mother that protects children.
Yeah.
In this lifetime, I protect children. So I always like, before I spank you kids in the ethers, where your parents at? So
Mm.
the parents come forward and explain, a lot of stuff to me. And so don't get twisted. In the high schools, in the schools, they're little magicians, like almost like Harry Potter.
Absolutely. Whew.
They're trying to teach you in Harry Potter what really going down. There's mysticism
Mm-hmm.
within the same realm of the school that certain kids are chosen to do mystery stuff.
So
They
imagine how much on jobs.
On jobs, too. In jobs, they're
Entrepreneur ventures.
occult. There's people who are owners that are occultists, especially. So 50% of the population, I want to say,
50.
are cultists.
Mm-hmm.
Are cultists in California.
Yep.
In California, okay, because everywhere I go, especially in the Chinese stores,
Yeah.
um, I was in the Vietnamese store and I almost choked because one of them, they tapped in. I could feel it right here.
Mm.
And usually my higher self and them give them warning. I'm not just anybody who come here to choke.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than your restaurant in this moment. And
Mm.
so they went all the way and they choked me. That was the first time I ever actually had one of them all the way. So I was already
Mm.
in gear and
Mm.
it was about to pop off in the ethers.
Mm-hmm.
And you careful who you serve in your restaurants because the next day your business can go down. All of a sudden you're doing good and you do something foul like that. I'm the type of person that tears. I don't want to say what I do. But if you do me dirty, you trying to choke me. I'm giving you money in business. I'm do you no harm.
Right.
Because they have their altars. Don't sleep
Mm.
on these. Oh, they have their no, those are altars. They have one
Mm-hmm.
in the back. They have one in the front. They have
Oh,
one in different parts.
absolutely. It's that feng shui is really bang with that and whatever. And a lot of people haven't been to Asian or they don't have Asian friends, don't know that witchcraft and all that exists amongst Asians. And so I'm not saying feng shui or their altar is uh, witchcraft. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is they do recognize the energy, just like you going to I just went down to Inglewood and went to a Nigerian restaurant. And when you go in there, they got everything set up. They got altars, everything. They know what they're doing.
As they should. That means if they're on their stuff,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's gonna happen to them. I went to this Jamaican restaurant. Already the owner, well, I was going there for years. They've been open for 15 years. And my understanding is if you've been in business for 5 to 7 years, especially in California, you are an occultist because they will come and test your products, test you in your business.
Yeah.
So the Rastafaris, they come through. I talked to the Rastafaris, the Jamaican people. They are cultists. They have a
Absolutely.
restaurant.
Oh yeah,
They
I've been up the Bobo Hill. I've been up to Bingy Hill. I've been up through it. Everybody has the hierarchy is there. That's what it's all about, and they're in touch with the Obe, the Rasta and the Obe community vibe, very good together. They just the
they understand themselves to be consciousness because
mm-hmm.
that's the power. You got to understand yourself. Like if someone's going to come in before they come into your restaurant or your house or wherever you are, you already know their intentions, what they're here to do, when they're going to do it, why they're here to do it, this and that. You already could feel because everyone is consciousness and you tap into the energy, if they mean you well or not. And
Yeah.
that's greatly what it was for a lot of the restaurants I went into. And they already knew me. I was going in and out of the city. Even the city, there's city police. The police know themselves as consciousness. I've had the police come to me and tell me, oh yeah, we're affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan. And I said, well, I don't need to be channeled that. I'm black. I know you're affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan. Like it's not an eye awakening spiritual moment. Even if you channel it to me, I already know this is based on a certain level of racism. So the Ku Klux Klan, they said they'd rather be called Aryan. I'm not bringing this up to cause any racial, but it is because they explained to me that's the level of power they have. The reason why you have a lot of Ku Klux Klan, the police force, the government, the Vatican, you name it, they understand themselves to be consciousness and greater than consciousness.
Mm.
But then there's those of us that are here today that exceed their consciousness, exceed their awareness. So as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I came to Florida, they try to do the same thing again. And the thing with police in the ethers, their job is to police you in your magic. So if you start doing certain magic,
Yes.
may come through and try to stop your magic or come in as authority. Hey, why are you doing this type of magic? None of your business.
Well, you
I'm
know, they
doing.
used to put us to death for that, and for reading books, and even worse, a lot of they want to. Some are, even our own people don't want to remember that they used to kill any of us that did any sort of type of
They don't.
spirituality.
They don't gotta do that no more. They don't gotta do that no more. They just be like, oh, in the ethers, they do the magic, and some of them don't even manifest physically anymore because they prefer, like, it's so much better to be, in the ethers because it's powerful
Yeah,
to genuinely know yourself to be a consciousness. When you let go of the physical form,
that's why I
that's
started to talk out with what I started it out with, so people, I knew we were gonna go toward the alchemy of self.
you don't need to manifest physically. And if you do manifest physically, you always want to come in as a guardian. It's kind of like, this is you today, right? You believe you're just this, but you are a physical, you are a first and foremost a consciousness. So you could literally see yourself from above your body and protect your own self like a guardian. So like if someone's coming for you, you could be in the most dangerous space, you're cloaked. So you don't even have to be seen. It's that deep when you take your meditation seriously, because a lot of people have to do a certain level of meditation. It could be prayer. Prayer can be a certain level of meditation, or spells or incantation, whatever puts you in a certain level of stillness. Because I've had people say they play the violin and all of a sudden they see themselves outside of their body playing the violin. So it depends. Meditation doesn't look the same for everybody. So it's the journey today is to understand you are in an illusion. That's why they're scared of people like me to tell everybody, hey, it's not real. You can manifest things out of thin air. So
Yeah.
I'm very much, that's that's the magic I'm doing. That's why they always coming for me every single day. Woo!
Damn.
Every moment they can. No, we can't. Da, 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 da. But some of them know now. She's not the one you do that to. Not this one, anyway.
You know, well, since we're talking about the alchemy, uh, before we get anything any further, I want to say that I know we all have different backgrounds, and I want and I want you to put your belief systems and know that when you come on here, I always talk about beliefs. I do series of talks. I don't just do talks. So me and this sister hopefully gonna continue this series of talk. So keep tuning in. This next time I'll actually put up an advert with her on it to let you know, and therefore y'all can also go on her YouTube, her Instagram, and start following her. But I wanted to say that we got to start believing in put the ability to believe into our actions, not into bodies of knowledge. We have to put our ability to believe our actions into our actions. We need to put our ability to believe into our actions going forward in life, not our ability to believe into bodies of knowledge. People will always argue, and you can always be arguing within yourself and be polarizing yourself, and can catch cognitive dissonance within yourself over bodies of knowledge, perspectives from knowledge. But your ability to believe should not be more important in regards to bodies of knowledge. It should be your abilities to achieve. That's what we have to put and that's the importance of alchemy. And those of you that are in the Judeo religions, I know we all have our elders are all majority Muslims and Christians, some Black Hebrews and whatnot. But if so, you have to realize that in the Bible, Yehoshua known as Isa, known as Jesus Christ, spit on the ground and did the dirt and put it in his hand and said something, and then put the dirt on the man's ear to put his ear back on after it was cut off. And you telling me that has any why'd that go away from Christianity? Why didn't that end up in Christianity? Why when other black people and people do those such things, why are Christians, Jews, Hebrews, and Muslims looking down on it? Here in the New World, in the Americas, it's looked down on because Christianity over here is different from Christianity in the old world, in Asia, in Europe. So the New World, Christianity is Europe's Christianity.
I'm gonna charge my laptop.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you. And so I just wanted to point out that what you might call witchcraft or see as something diabolical or taboo, it's used to be the norm for your ancestors. Your ancestors aren't just your Christian and Muslim ancestors. They're the ones that preceded them. Christianity didn't get to Africa, Central, South, West, and Southern Africa from other Africans. It got there, and so did Islam, from invaders genociding, murdering, and raping. And so the same with the ancestors in the Americas, they suffered the same fate when Islam, Christianity, and Judaism was forced onto them. So we got to not just look at our ancestors 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We got to go back. And so that's the magic of ourselves, that we are beyond spatio-tempio. That has to be part of our beliefs. I am beyond these outliers in this spatio-temporal zone. In other words, the circumstances. But your spiritual consciousness had to be beyond that. That's why I keep repeating in my video series about believing in yourself. It's your soul consciousness versus your ego. The ego will get cognitive dissonance and say, no, I'm supposed to be only this. Like, for instance, let me share something with y'all. Okay, this is just one book I'm going to share with them. And it's a comic book. It's a graphic novel. Decorum. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible work. If you are in the comics, and I was in the comics way before Marvel got all repopularized by Blade. That's right, a black man saved Marvel. But this is incredible how they put everything and categorize everything in this. It's a feat of science and spirituality put into paper. And this is actually based off of us. It's not separate from reality. But we're told for the last I would say, if it's not on paper, it's not real and it's not spiritual. This is a Bible. This is my Bible. If it's not in here, or that Quran I got sitting over there, that Quran, if it's not in those, if it's not in the Torah or the Injil, it's not real. Meanwhile, they sat back, taking all the alchemy they got from ancient Kemet and Nubia, Samaria, and India, all the math, all the science, and they create all these technologies. But we have family members, and even some of us, want to criticize the youth and tell them, no, you can't. No, you can't. You shouldn't. No, you can't. You shouldn't. No, bad girl, bad boy, bad girl, bad boy. No, you can't. You shouldn't. You're not supposed to be doing that witchcraft, that math, that alchemy. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, they have demonized. We ourselves demonized the word witchcraft. Witchcraft simply means making magic.
Exactly. Alchemy. Commit.
The witch is the practitioner, and the witchcraft is the making of magic.
Exactly. Ashe. Alchemy. The El Liamel. The Amen El, the Amma, the great mother. Eliamel. Alchemy. The Eliam El, the magic of ancient Kemet. Alchemy. And so, with this knowledge that we are actually the Ka, the soul, and the ego, how do we bring back our magic? What do we do? Where do we start from?
It's like exercise. We have to go back into the basics. Meditation. The thing is, I have a course coming out on my Patreon where I explain meditation. Meditation isn't just something to calm you down. If you genuinely do like an excessive amount of meditation, you come out of the body. You actually start to understand yourself as the consciousness that I'm talking about, that we're talking about. We have to understand existence to be lucid. A lot of people want to be lucid dreamers. Well, again, this is a dream time. This is an awakened dream time. And you have to be lucid in this awakened dream time and not be so fixated in the belief systems that we were taught. And this is all for all of humanity. It's always a thing, like at the end of the day, it's for whoever's aligned with it. Is to understand ourselves. We have to reprogram ourselves and understanding our existence here. We can heal ourselves. We can make ourselves walk again. We can it's like the NDE, the near death experience. That's where I grew up, and I grew up learning and remembering a lot. She was saying things that were confirmed years later, that we can grow another arm. It sounds crazy. We can do every and anything we want. We do not have to worry about or work with the medical system, the education system, the financial system, because we can do the magic. We can bring it to life. We literally have to take our magic seriously. They do. They take die for the cause of their coven, because they understand the power of a coven, or the power of their art, their mysticism. Those who I talk to, like, to us, it sounds all crazy, because we don't know. Like, what do you mean? No, it happens. Magic is frequency too. Magic could be happening right in front of you. You might not even see it, because if you're not in the frequency of that magic. So you have to understand yourself greater than your physical form. That's why a certain level of hydration, meditation, sun gazing, and fasting, sitting down for hours in meditation. Some people use the gift to do bad things. They'll meditate in darkness and start taking from the banks and stuff like that. Oh, so give me a second, because I don't have my phone with me.
It's all good. I'm going to respond to that. Also, everyone, thank you for coming in on the Facebook and on the YouTube and on the Instagram. You can call in 909-446-2388 to add to. I think she's saying conscious competence. Say that in your mind, conscious competence. Say it with me, conscious competence. So if we grow a conscious competence toward our spiritual habits, thought streams, spiritual thought streams, intent, that's where we're manifesting. You don't want to be like they say the subconscious. You know what I'm saying? How they say how the what the sister Queen was saying is like how your subconscious, right? Well, we live off our subconscious most of the time. We do. We just be driving. That's why we could talk. We be talking shit while driving and whatever, and having fun, cracking jokes, kicking knowledge, getting deep, singing songs. But still, somehow we're avoiding accidents. No, so that's subconscious, right? So the same thing in all the other areas of our life. But this is where the ego comes into play. You're not supposed to go against, destroy your ego. You're supposed to learn how to manage it. And it's like conscious competence. Your frontal lobe ego consciousness must be aware of what the subconscious when it comes to manifesting, because it's like that's what the point is that the Juma 1372 gratitude, it's love. And so like that's what I feel the Queen was just saying, Priestess Delphi was just manifesting about. We have to get a conscious competence in this. We have to be aware. We don't want to just accidentally make things happen, because we need to be able to accidentally make other things happen. So we need to get, just like certain things happen. How did it, like for instance, I'm going to tell y'all something. I had lost $10,000. I gamble sometime. I make money. I lose money. I had lost like about $10,000. So I was down to like my savings was, my cash liquid savings outside of my business account was down to only like $10,000. That's real bad in Southern California. And so I was going to have to sell my equipment and all this different stuff. And I had got a therapist. And I wasn't going because I felt like I was being his therapist, and we only saw each other a couple of times. And he's a business therapist. He's still a friend of mine. And so he helps people achieve in business. That's all he deals with. None of these personal other things. So like what happened is I wanted to see him and I had to use the bathroom. I got there early. I walk in the bathroom, there's a bag. I look in the bag, it's like about $4,000 cash. You see what I'm saying? I manifested that, and I was going through a grumpy time because I had lost that money gambling, and I had things I needed to do, and it turned out that the person on the inside, after I had got that money and did what I did with it, the person on the inside, I ripped it open. They had a couple of other $1,000 inside the bag. And this was a couple of months later. I just decided not to throw the bag away. So I'm like filling the bag. I needed to use the bag. I was going fishing, and I ripped it open. It was still cash in there, a couple of thousand more. I manifested that. So my goal after that was conscious competence of doing that. Not accidentally running into a bathroom with a bag of money, but being able to manifest that in other realms, in other ways, and with a conscious competence. So I'm gonna let you take it from there.
That reminds me of this lady called Marina Jacobi. She teaches like manifestation based on the quantum, and teaches that is manifestation.
What's her name?
Marina Jacobi.
Oh, okay.
She is she's from a different country, I forget, but she's out here in the States thus far, I think, and she teaches all about what you just did, manifest money. And that's a big chunk. That's powerful. You're a powerful manifester. So yeah, that's what she teaches. She teaches like how to make money come, basically that would be that what you call money out of thin air. Because she worked off of donations, and her call was to teach people how to make money through the quantum. So Um, so certain things that would happen in your life is based on a certain level of vibration. And when you're in alignment with that vibration, if you want something, it'll happen. Like it was her birthday. She only had $9. She's vegan. And she's like, okay, I only have $9. How am I supposed to do this? She said, you know what, let me just go to the mall. And then the
Mm.
mall, they were having like free vegan food for everybody. It's a new opening, grand opening. Her whole family got to eat vegan food free because that's their meal. They got to eat, and she celebrated her birthday. She explained to them it was her birthday. They made this cake, so that's an alignment. So most people think, oh, I
Yeah.
have to have the money to know. She
Mm.
manifested a moment that everyone got to eat. She got her cake and everything. So
Mm.
that's different forms of manifestation. That's what that
Mm.
is. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we want to be not in a thing of hopes, but in the thing of like, okay, I want it. It comes in pure. You can literally put a bag of 5,000 in there. You gotta like bring it to you. Like
Mm.
every time I'm always like, I want candles. I want this. Spirit's like, you need to learn how to just start literally. That's the magic that we don't believe in. It's a belief
Mm.
system. You could believe yourself to die. That's how much. There's this guy. He was in a freezer, but it wasn't even on. But because he believed it was on, he literally froze to death.
Wow.
He got
Dang.
stuck in it, that he
Mm.
believed. That's how powerful belief is. So
Mm.
we have to really start reprogramming ourselves, and it takes steps because we've really been programmed to believe nothing works unless you are going to work, to school, to this,
Mm.
keep the infrastructure. No magic, no magic, no magic. You're demonized if you do magic. You do
Yeah.
magic. You gotta work with the school system. No, you only gotta go to the bank. You gotta go to.
And at the
No, I've been
most,
told.
pray. At the most, people do is pray, and they don't understand you're praying from your subconscious. You're not praying from your conscious. You're praying from a victim
Yes,
standpoint. And
that's what.
if you're coming, you need to find yourself when you're in a good mood and pray. You need to be. It's more about the feeling. That's the genius of churches. They get up in there and get on the organ. You know what I'm saying? They hitting the. They. My cousins are on the drums. My uncle ain't even ready to preach yet. You know what I'm saying? My uncle is one of them prosperity preachers. But it's about the feeling. That's why Rastafari is so incredible. That's the blessings and praises to Rastafari. It's because they said music, word, sound, and power is the foundation. And so that's the greatness of Rastafari. I want to share something with y'all while the sister is talking. I'm going to share something with y'all.
One
Give me
cannot be
1 minute. I'm sorry.
spiritual
Okay.
as long one.
So I'm going to share something with y'all real quick while she's doing that. Hold on. Let me share this with y'all.
One cannot be spiritual as long one has shame, hatred, or fear.
Fear creates a polarity for the thing feared, and the thing you fear the most will be the thing that you face. Regardless, you will call the thing that you fear to yourself, because the fear becomes as a beacon, as a lighthouse in the storm for that thing to land, to find its way to you. So if you talk about getting yourself protection against something that you feel is lurking, or some kind of entity that's attacking you, you've created the bridge to that entity. Wow. Because you've identified yourself as having something in common with that thing. That's the creation. That's what you create, the bridge. Your intention. Fear creates an intention so that which you fear finds you. You create your fears, and therefore you create the things you fear.
What you really fear is inside yourself. You fear your own power. You fear your anger, the drive to do great or terrible things. Now, you must journey inwards. You are ready. Breathe.
So, It depends on how you want to see what spirituality is. Is it something that frees you, or does it bind you, or does it incarcerate you to a specific level of pain and suffering and anguish and things that you're going to have to constantly look behind your shoulder to have to deal with? You bring your enemy to you. And if you do have an enemy, face it. A lot of times we create our own enemies because our fear of our own selves, our fear of our abilities, our fear of failure. We fear about everything. And we create the strength and energies for this thing to thrive. And so if we do things that are contrary to fear, if we act in contradiction to fear.
All right. Let me ask you something. If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
If we change it, as you say, to love, first the love of self, and love of the fact that you have strength and courage to do anything you wish to do. Once you change your mind, you watch how fear changes to an energy that feeds your courage, feeds your resolve, and feeds your purpose.
Fear is death. Fear is sin. Fear is hell. Fear is unrighteousness. Fear is wrong life.
All right, sister, did you hear that? Hopefully all y'all enjoyed that. Yeah, you know,
We're not on Instagram Live anymore.
Sorry, say again. Say again. You can hear me?
Yeah, I was saying that I don't see you on the live on Instagram anymore.
Is it? Okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh, I was playing a video. Did you see the video I was playing?
Yeah, I did. I know that guy you played.
Yeah, Reverend Valentine.
Yes, Reverend Valentine.
So,
He's on point about it. Everything about what he says. All of them. Masters, really. Masters.
right.
That's another word that they say that they hate, that humanity messed up. The word master means a teacher, a person that knows how, that has proficiency, official, but we've used it like, oh, yes, master. Yes, master.
So it looked like the Instagram froze.
No, you're not live anymore on Instagram at all.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start over. Let me start it over. I'm gonna start the Instagram over.
Okay, you're on YouTube still. I see that.
I'm gonna end it and just start over because it's tripping. They've been doing this. They told me it's called shadow banning. I don't know. They said that's why it's better to use TikTok and why people don't live stream. I need people to start coming over to my YouTube. I don't even want to use Instagram no more.
Yeah, me too. I'm so over Instagram.
They sat up there and froze us. Ain't that a bitch? They did that to me yesterday. And the time before that, they did it. This is the third time. But they shadow banning our community. But I actually wrote a screenplay about it. So I'm going to fuck their asses up in Hollywood to watch. So I'm going to start over. Let me just start the whole thing over. You can stay